2021 marks SRT's 70th anniversary. We're proud of the cooperative principles that we were built on to bring telecommunications services to each and every member in our service area. In the next few minutes, you'll hear from some long-term members and former board members about our fascinating cooperative history.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly the year because we had farmer-owned phones in the area when I was growing up. I grew up with a phone on the wall, taken care of by the farmers. You try to get people to volunteer to replace poles or splice the wire when the frost ice, broke the wire down. And my dad was one of them that was invited, and I went along to a neighbor where the SRT was going to visit with us about getting the people that were in this farmer line to join with SRT. And so people in this farmer-owned line were concerned about a free access to MINOT so that we could call without a toll. That was actually a very informational, cordial conversation that we had with SRT.
Everything was long distance. We don't think of it now, but everything was long distance. And so that was nickel and dime you to death, When they first started, all this country stuff, that was all rural lines. To start with, a lot of them were farmer lines. They were country lines. Way back, they were party lines, so you'd have 4 or 5 people on your line. And then finally they got it enough wires so you'd have your private line. But it was awkward compared to now.
On the first phone, you would call for long distance especially, and that was the big hang-up because like on holidays, Christmas, to try to get connected if you wanted to call into another state or even worse, if into another country, you might not get connected that night or when you wanted to because there was not enough lines. Now the satellites are wide open to unlimited connections.
One of the biggest things was the purchase of the MINOT exchange, Surrey and Burlington from Rochester Tel. It was quite a bit of investigation and negotiations, but at the time it seemed right and something that the board endorsed and the managers were good that we were working with at the time.
It was great for Souris River because it made us big enough to be viable. It just worked out well. It was, like I say, it was a little dairy, a little scary at the time. One of the things we did with that, here was MINOT was 10 times as big as Souris. In order to be fair to the members, we declared the book value of Souris as dividend to all the members. In my belief anyway, I think it was a good deal for MINOT and a good deal for the telephone company. Then we went with toll-free calling. I mean, we could call all of our exchanges toll-free. It was a big thing to the people in MINOT wanted to call out to Botno or places like that. There's a lot of efficiencies come because we were big enough. I guess that was probably probably the biggest thing we did while I was on the board was acquire MINOT. When I was first on the board, we were pretty much telephone. We got involved in television. You could buy territories, or you bid on them. So we did that. We bought quite a few territories. When they started in with the telephones, those portable telephones, we owned a lot of spectrum, and we had a lot of it. I think we paid about somewhere around $4 million for the radio space or for the national space. And I think that when they got all done, we'd sold, I think the first one was somewhere around 11 and then I think 17 for the second one. So that was a very big money maker, and really that money kind of went into cell phone because that cell phone, that was a kind of an expensive operation too.
Oh, yes, we got those. First, it was a desk phone, transferred from a wall phone to a desk phone. And then, of course, a lot of people don't hardly have them anymore. But I want to have mine because I like to talk on the land phone or the house phone in lieu of my flip phone. To me, it just is easier to communicate. But a lot of people you can't call now because they don't have a land phone anymore, or it's not listed. So you can't communicate unless you know their cell phone number.
I appreciated my time on there, and with the people I got to serve with and people I got to know, and it was a good education for me too. I mean, you learn a lot of things, especially when you got dealing with MINOT, and we ended up. That was like I say, I think it was $52 million. That was a lot of bucks for Little Service River at the time.
Well, the dependability that it's going to be well provided for, and that we, in a sense, I don't know if you can call it actually part ownership, but we have, if the company makes some money, then it's distributed in rebates so that people can, and I have a sizable credit out there. It will be not for my benefit, I don't believe, but for those that live after me.
I think the service customers have always been pretty receptive to what's coming along and joining the modern or new technology.
We strive to be a leader in technology, dedicated to making sure that our area is a progressive place to live and do business. We're proud to celebrate our milestone of 70 years and thank each and every member for their support. Thank you.